Bobrovsky is playing like the best goalie in the entire world, and if he plays like that, this series isn't going to be close. I think that he'll definitely decline from how well he played against Carolina. I think that Vegas is a little bit better offensively, but if he plays like that, he's going to be known to have the best playoffs from a goalie ever. I think that if he plays like he did against Carolina, he'll win the Conn Smythe, and if not, I think that he'll go to your guy, Matthew Tkachuk, and I guess that's what we'll get into next is who our Conn Smythe picks are for each team.
Exactly. Sergei Bobrovsky in the playoffs in 14 games is 11-2. He allows just over 2 goals a game, and his save percentage is, if you want to give it the 5 and above, give it a shove at a 94%, which is exceptional. And our other goaltender, Adin Hill, has very similar stats. Now, unlike Adin Hill, this is not the first time Sergei Bobrovsky's been dealt into the playoffs. His career numbers, yeah, they're not as good. His career numbers in 65 games is 28-31. He allows almost 3 goals a game in his career with about a 91% save percentage. So, with that, Joey, to me, this shows, all right, Bobrovsky's getting good at the right time with the right team in this case. But career-wise, do you think that plays a certain role in his expectation or what you think he's able to do?
I think it does. I think even if he doesn't have the career stats that we always look at, he's been to the playoffs before. I didn't even think about it when I said it, but that the President's Trophy winner losing in the first round hasn't happened since Tampa. Well, that was against Sergei Bobrovsky. He's got more experience than Adin Hill, even if the numbers aren't all there. But I think that does play a factor. Adin Hill's really young compared to Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's been in the league for a lot more years. So I think that definitely does play a factor, but I think that goalie-wise, even though Adin Hill's stats are a little bit better these playoffs, Bobrovsky has 4 more games, and he had a pretty rough first series against Boston statistically. And so the way that he's bounced back against Toronto and Carolina have made those numbers even more impressive.
And back when I was in Waynesburg talking on radio shows, it was the analogy was the East is a bloodbath this year compared to the West. The West, we thought in matchup-wise was going to have it so much easier. And that wasn't completely the case. But previewing it before everything started, that was definitely the case. Adin Hill and Bobrovsky both have evenly been on different amount of teams. I'm pretty sure it's 3 each. Between Bobrovsky being drafted by the Flyers, doing a lot of work with the Blue Jackets, and now recently, the past couple of years, in the revamp for Florida has been there as well. But Adin Hill just got to Vegas this year. He wasn't even thought as going to be the starting goaltender because there was Brossoit, there was Jonathan Quick. But Adin Hill gets the nod as Quick is now the backup. And we'll take a look now at Adin Hill's stats. Adin Hill, in 11 games, he started in 9 of them. 7-3. He allows just a hair over 2 goals a game. And again, 0.02% better than Bobrovsky. And like I mentioned before, when I was making this, it made me laugh. His career playoff stats will look just where we read them to you because those are his career playoff stats. He hasn't had an opportunity. So I'll ask you exactly. I completely agree with you. I think it's very interesting because Sergei Bobrovsky, while he does have more experience in games played and the career numbers aren't as good as Adin Hill's for that matter, I do think both goaltenders have played an exceptional playoffs. And as of right now, you need to stick in the now, what's been going on this year, and don't let the last few years affect you. I think both goaltenders pretty much are evenly matched as of if we're looking at a this year standpoint. So I think Bobrovsky just as much of an edge as Hill, and I don't think any one of these goaltenders would be fair to say one's playing strictly better than another because of how close it's been. And Puck Report NHL, we are good friends with them. These stats do come via Puck Report NHL, so credit to them. The graphic this time was made by me. I used their graphic before. Again, all credit to them for that. But the stats I did get from theirs as well. They help make this a little easier. So, head to head this year. Well, we mentioned Vegas leads the all-time series. This year, it's split 2 games. Each team won 1. Vegas had much more points considering Florida was a second wildcard team and Vegas was a number 2 seed. Correct? Yes. Yep. But if we go down stat-wise, it cuts pretty evenly on both directions. While Florida does score more goals a game, Vegas allows less goals a game. And both special teams on these teams, I think if there's one knock you got to go on Florida and Vegas is their special teams are not really that good.
I guess so, but this is a toss-up. Every day I'm thinking the other team's going to win. Vegas has the depth. I think Florida's got the goalie, and I think that it's going to be a hard fight. I do think it goes 7. I hope and I think it goes 7 because
I pray to God it goes
these
7.
are my favorite kinds of playoffs where as much as I want my teams to be in it, as much as I wanted the Hurricanes or the Pens to be there, of course, I love both of these teams. Both of these teams have been so fun to watch. I've got nothing against Florida for beating the Hurricanes. No resentment. I love both of these teams.
I'm sure they're glad they forgive you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that both of these teams are going to be around for a while. I think Kachuk's insane. I think Bobrovsky's insane. I think Eichel's insane. I'm going to take Florida in 7.
I'm so glad you took Florida.
And you know what I'm going to say?
Go ahead, say it.
Kachuk overtime winner.
Kachuk overtime winner in 7. He has 2 overtime winners so far this series.
And I've been wrong about everything this playoff. So Vegas is probably going to win because I said that. But I'll take.
You know what's funny? I've gone up against Florida the entire playoffs. There's no question about it. We talked about it before in the last NHL episode we had. I didn't take Florida in the first round. I didn't take him in the second round. I took them in the conference final.
I did not.
And you did not, and they ended up winning. And you know what I said to you? I said, Joey, I'm never going against Florida again. Well, I lied. I'm going Vegas.
You're taking Vegas?
I am going to take Vegas, and the only